Miss Candy for Hire. By Princess Indigo. Chapter 4. The Femboy on the Balcony. It was the first time she had been back in the Takaroro district of Little Cuba, since the unfortunate business with Tabard and Josephine. Miss Candy's brand new replacement necromancer, was currently getting some additional upgrades before it would be ready to her satisfaction. A little green aphid crawled with delicate grace, up her sleeve, as she stood on the crowded Quattro City metro. She debated whether to swat it away, or give it a fighting chance. The decision was made for her, and the tiny emerald aphid took off, and alighted on her geophone. Miss Candy's patience expired, as it set off across the screen, and she blew at it repeatedly, until her gusty breath swept it away into the cacophonous carriage. After navigating the grubby, overcrowded corridors of the underground, she rose up a long flight of even grubbier steps, into the long colorful architecture of Rosales Street. She'd come to Little Cuba in search of fresh leads, following her initial meeting with Patricia Simonside. The departing throng of fellow passengers, struck up new conversations either with each other, or on their ever-present geophones. As they all went their separate ways, Miss Candy disappeared into a side street, and very Latin jazz, came at her from all directions. 8 blocks west, was where the Hot Valley nightclub had burned to the ground. Such close proximity to her former second home, caused Miss Candy considerable distress. There was a deep twinge of emotion, in the depths of her circuits, and she did not like it one bit. As these turbulent memories and feelings subsided, Miss Candy came to a doorway in a brightly painted alcove. Turning the worn brass handle, pretty pastel shades accompanied her down a long flight of steps. A familiar doorway lay in front of her, and with a well-practiced shove, opened out onto a grass courtyard, lined by brightly painted pots, of tropical plants and flowers. The courtyard was used as a beauty salon, and sat amongst the grass, were red and white leather revolving chairs, and makeup tables, complete with large mirrors lined with light bulbs. 4 stories up, a tiny pale square of blue sky looked down on it all. At much closer proximity, a multicolored neon sign, read Dolores Beauty Shop, alongside many other colored lights, that hung from the walls. Several cables traversed the dimensions of the courtyard, across which a tarpaulin could be pulled in times of rain. Miss Candy had been here many times, drinking mojitos on warm summer nights, as she sat in one of the chairs in front of her, having her nails buffed to perfection. High above the courtyard, each floor of the surrounding building opened out onto a balcony. The beauty salon was clearly not in use, as it did not officially open, until the sun began to set. On the second landing a strikingly beautiful femboy, wearing a bright yellow shirt tied at the navel, leaned on the balcony balustrade with a freshly poured mojito, as very Latin jazz played on and on. "Darling, the beauty parlor is shut, only the femboy brothel is open at this time of the day. Lottie's dungeon is 2 doors down, if that's what you're after, but you'll have to go back upstairs. If they give you a job, I might pop in and see you when my shift is over," said the femboy, looking appreciatively at Miss Candy's patent biker leathers, that pinched her waist tightly, emphasizing her voluptuous hips to great effect. "I'm here to see Dolores," replied Miss Candy simply with a broad grin, as the femboy looked her over once more. "Dolores, you have an unexpected visitor. Get your well-tanned tushy out here this minute, or it will most certainly get a spanking," said the femboy loudly over their shoulder. "I must admit I'm quite jealous." "You should be," laughed Miss Candy as a door slammed shut, and Dolores did up her floral satin robe and swept onto the balcony.